Have you ever felt stuck in a cycle of late night snacking, sugar cravings, and guilt? Most people think the only way to get back on track after eating like garbage is to start another strict diet. But I'm going to let you in on a secret. One of the most powerful ways to get out of a bad eating habit isn't by dieting, it's with fasting. So today I want to share with you why fasting works when willpower doesn't, and how it can reset your cravings, habits, and overall health faster than you think. Now, you may already know that fasting, or even intermittent fasting, is great for things like lowering inflammation, reversing insulin resistance, and even helping to prevent cancer or keeping it from coming back. But another amazing benefit is how it can reset your hunger hormones. And this can really help to lower your cravings for sweets and give you a chance to build healthier habits so you're not stuck in the same cycle of bad food choices and regret. I think we all know what that's like. So whether you're trying to eat better to lose weight, reverse type 2 diabetes, keep cancer away, or just feel better, this may be exactly what you need. Now you may be wondering, how long do I have to be fasting for this to work? And will it actually work if nothing else has in the past? We're getting into all of that. People think, if only I had more discipline, I wouldn't grab that bag of chips after dinner. Or if only I had more willpower, I'd stop binging on cookies. But the truth is, discipline isn't the issue. Your poor brain has just been trained to be rewarded after dinner with dessert. Or maybe that evening time equals snack time. But what if your brain was trained to think the opposite? That evenings equal no snack time, just time to rest. That's where fasting comes in. Fasting works well when willpower doesn't. Think about how most diets go. You try to swap out your chips for carrot sticks or your soda for sparkling water, and for a while it works. But eventually, those cravings sneak back in, usually when we're stressed, tired, or emotional. So the problem with dieting is that you're trying to layer a good habit over top of a deeply ingrained bad habit. It's like painting over mold. You might not see it right away, but the problem's still there. So if you're used to snacking while you're watching TV, or when you're bored, or when you're sad, it's really hard to stop. And it doesn't necessarily matter how big your meals are. If late night snacking is a habit, you're still in the pantry at 8 p.m. looking for those chips. But fasting, especially longer fasting done periodically, has the ability to break that cycle. When you stop eating completely, even just for a day or two, your brain and body get a chance to hit the reset button. That constant loop of craving and reward gets interrupted. And that teaches your brain that maybe I don't need that late night snack after all. So how long do you have to fast to actually reset those bad eating habits? Well, the good news is you don't have to go days without eating to start feeling a difference. Research shows that even time-restricted eating like the 16-8 or 18-6 fasting method can help to reduce mindless snacking. And not necessarily because you start feeling more disciplined, well, maybe a bit, but because you can interrupt your daily patterns by eating less often throughout the day. One well-known study that followed people who fasted for 16 hours a day and only ate within an 8-hour eating window found that after 3 months, they not only lost weight, but they kept it off for years. Why? Because their new eating schedule reshaped their behaviors with food and reduced their cravings for junk food. However, if you've been stuck with bad eating habits for years, longer fasts, like 36 to 72 hours at a time, done periodically, maybe once a month, can go even deeper with this reset. Going a few days without food can start to retrain your brain to stop expecting food as a reward. And that's why fasting can work when other diets haven't worked for you in the past. Now listen to this. In 2022, there was a study done that had people do a 10-day water-only fast, followed by a structured refeeding period, which basically just means they eased their way back into eating. And the improvements to their health were incredible. Their body fat, cholesterol, and blood pressure all went down, their inflammation markers dropped, even their fatty liver index improved, and these changes lasted for at least 6 weeks later. That's amazing. And it's proof that these longer fasts aren't just a temporary fix. They can restore balance to your whole body and help you have a healthier relationship with food. One of the pioneers on this subject is Dr. Alan Goldhammer. If you've ever wondered why it feels nearly impossible to choose a salad over a slice of pizza, read his book called The Pleasure Trap. It explains how our modern diet has hijacked the wiring of our brains. Our brain is hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Makes sense. Back in the day, it worked perfectly. When sweet fruit meant carbs for energy, salty things meant electrolytes, and fatty foods meant survival. But in today's world, ultra-processed foods are designed to overstimulate those pathways in your brain. So a bag of Doritos or a donut doesn't just taste good, they blast your brain with a rush that broccoli just can't compete with. It's just that our brain has been rewired to crave the food that keeps us trapped. And that's why willpower alone rarely works. You're essentially up against your biology. Now, according to Dr. Goldhammer, fasting offers a way out of this trap. When you step away from food altogether, even for a relatively short period of time, you give your brain and your taste buds a chance to recalibrate. It's like turning down the volume on your cravings for junk food. And when you break your fast with simple whole foods like a peach or a fresh tomato, they taste incredible. And meanwhile, the pizza that once seemed irresistible has lost some of its shine. Now, with all that being said, obviously fasting itself isn't easy either. It can be really challenging, both physically and emotionally. When you go without food, you're not just fighting hunger, you're also confronting those bad habits and your routines, and maybe even some emotions that food has been covering up for years. And what's interesting is that studies have shown very mixed reviews on this. One study found that people who do short-term fasting often feel more irritable, exhausted, and anxious, especially in those early stages of your fast when your brain and body are just screaming out for food. But then other people say they experience the exact opposite. They feel proud for finishing a fast and realize they're stronger than they thought. And some also feel more calm and even happier. But every time you skip that automatic nightly snack, you're sending yourself a powerful message. I'm not controlled by my cravings. And over time, that really builds confidence and self-trust. This is actually called hormesis, which basically means good stress. Think about lifting weights. When you work out, you're creating tiny little tears in your muscles. That might sound bad, but it's actually a good thing. Because when your body repairs those muscles, it makes them stronger than before. Fasting works the same way. It challenges your metabolism and your mind. It puts just enough stress on your body to wake up your natural healing processes like autophagy. Essentially, when you fast, you're training yourself to get comfortable with discomfort. You're learning that you don't need to give in to every urge or craving, and that builds real mental strength. And trust me, I've been fasting for years, so I am saying this out of personal experience, but I'm not saying this is the case for everyone. Not everyone will find fasting empowering, especially for people who are prone to eating disorders. Fasting can sometimes lead to some unhealthy thoughts. So if you've dealt with anorexia, bulimia, or other disordered eating in the past, fasting likely isn't the right approach. Fasting should never be about punishment or extreme weight loss. It should be used as a tool to reset and learn how to listen to your body and build healthier habits. Fasting has also been part of almost every spiritual tradition for thousands of years, and not for weight loss or to improve metabolic health, but for mental clarity. From Catholics to Muslims to Buddhists, for centuries people have fasted to connect with something deeper. It was a way for them to step away from the noise and distraction and into something purposeful. Today we don't always think of fasting like that, but if you've ever tried it and felt more focused and calm or grounded, you've tapped into some of that ancient wisdom. So if you've been blaming yourself for not having the discipline to eat better, give yourself some grace. You don't need more willpower, you just need to break old patterns. You need to interrupt the cycle, reset those cravings, and give yourself a clean slate. Whether it's trying intermittent fasting or doing a longer 24 to 72 hour fast, if you stick with it long enough, the end result will be the same. Freedom from habits that no longer serve you. And if you want to hear some even more amazing benefits of fasting, watch this video next, and I'll see you next week.